What up, everybody? Sorry about the bad news, but I have bad news. My name's Tom. You can find me at cannabisindustrylawyer.com or on Instagram at cannabisindustrylawyer. And the United States Postal Service came out with a final rule to their interim rule that they released approximately 6 months ago. And it was so good that we decided to begin this with showing a funeral. So why don't we go to the actual news story in and of itself? It is being reported out of all the outlets. This one's from Hemp Industry Daily. There's actually a link on Hemp Industry Daily to the full federal register right here. It's volume 86, number 201, published on Thursday, October 21st of 2021. Treatment of e-cigarettes in the mail. It is the Postal Service, which I guess actually has a TM right there. I'm not sure if you guys can make that out. If you can't, that's okay. You can find a link to this document right here in the description. While you're down there, don't forget to smash up a like and then also click subscribe. And if you are currently peddling hemp vape products, well, might want to get into something else. Anyway, there's a few different exceptions. Why don't we go over it? That's the one from 6 months ago. They used the exact same picture, the Marijuana Moment did, from what they published 6 months ago in April when they said USPS wants to hemp and CBD vape companies to prepare for the upcoming mailing restrictions. And now they're here, according to, again, Marijuana Moment on October 20th, 2021. They actually got this. They must have gotten it the day before that it came out. So if you guys are upset about the hemp mail ban and not being able to mail your CBD vapes or your Delta-8 vapes anymore, again, leave it in the comments. Let us know what you think about it, and smash those likes. It's not our fault that the United States Postal Service did anything wrong. Let's go over what they've actually said. So the agency had to develop these regulations to comply with the bill that passed Congress last year, and they did not know exactly what was going to happen. They decided that were these or were these not what they call electronic nicotine delivery systems, or ENDS, that was subject to this rule that was actually going to pass it. And then the USPS explained in the rule, which is set to publish Friday on the Register or on Thursday, that by the letter of the law, that includes hemp and marijuana vapes. So if you want, you can go find our hemp episode that we did approximately 6 months ago in April. My hair was a little bit shorter, and I said the exact same thing. That, it looks like they defined it so broadly that it's going to actually include these types of things. And then the USPS actually responded to a lot of your comments, and thank you very much for participating in the not elections, but it's still the democratic process where the regulators asked your questions and you gave it to them. And then the United States Postal Service said that those arguments were not valid because, one, it's part of the federal government and is therefore unaffected by state or local marijuana policies. And two, it's not part of the Justice Department, which is the only branch of the government restricted by the state protection, rider, and appropriations legislations. That's correct. That is also why you are not going to be able to get around that IRC 280E that applies to all cannabis companies, at least the THC license holder cannabis companies. And so that's they get audited. They can't file for bankruptcy. They can't get a bank loan, but they do have some protections against being rated, provided that they are operating in compliance with their state laws. So the post office, they also didn't really care about THC being Delta-8. The agency further clarified that hemp containing up to 0.3% THC, doesn't mention Delta-9 THC, just says THC, is federally legal and generally mailable, but only to the extent that they are not incorporated into an ENDS product or function as a component of one. This is an ENDS product. It is from cookies. And so this is a component to that product. You cannot mail the batteries themselves. And you also cannot mail these receptacles that actually have the oil in them, the cartridges either. All of those would be comprised of the ENDS product, and meaning that you can't mail it. So I'm sorry. Really am. There's a lot of companies that are out there currently retailing these, and I'm assuming that many of the companies will just continue to, because they're in too deep to stop until they get, who knows what's going to happen in the future, but it might be bad. So the FDA and then the USPS goes on to do a lot of regulatory speak where they explain many things. There is a small exception. Lightweight non-commercial shipments by adults or individuals limited to 10 shipments per 30-day period. So, for example, when I was at the Cookies Treehouse Village in Garberville, California, I could have mailed 10 of those shipments, perhaps. Now, they would have said that that has more than 0.3% THC, and therefore it's completely unmailable. And they have a point to that. But in this hypothetical, it was going to be a THC mailing. Consumer testing, limited shipments of cigarettes sent by verified authorized manufacturers to adult smokers for consumer testing purposes. Public health, a limited shipment of cigarettes by federal agencies for public health. Well, that's not you, is it? And trying to find one of these loopholes is going to be increasingly difficult. And I do have to apologize that this has taken so long. We can learn some interesting things about this when it comes to how quickly the regulatory agencies, at least at the federal level, when it comes to cannabis work. It's quite slowly. And not only is it quite slowly, there was a gray area that people were just driving buses through for a while. And this is one of the reasons why I don't think that cannabis legalization is going to be happening overnight. I think that cannabis legalization will be happening over the next 3 to 5 years as more states have more supply chains and operators that come online that then have political capital and real capital made from the sales of cannabis products to pay their legislatures so that those political contributions lead to legislative action. That is 2024's problem. 2021's problem is stop mailing the vapes. You really should. I have that in my Delta-8 opinion letter. My Delta-8 opinion letter, I might have to stop selling. I already have to update it fairly regularly as state after state bans it, for example, most recently Texas. And now all those nice people that were mailing their Delta-8 vapes, waiting for the rule. It is now published. And this goes all the way back to February 19th when the Postal Service published a notice of a proposed rulemaking. And then on April 19th, when they actually published the rule in and of itself. And then there was that public comment period. Public comment period ended. And now it's the final rule. And the rule, of course, is effective October 21st, 2021. So you should really stop mailing cannabis vapes. Let's see. Remains an open question about how vigorous the law will be enforced. Yes, it does. Particularly around products that lack state or federal excise taxes. Punishments for violating the law can be swift and severe, so retailers should think carefully about trading a short-term buck for potential legal troubles before a federal judge. Try to avoid that in life. If you ever have legal troubles before a federal judge, dang, that really stinks, especially if it's for silly things like the federal cannabis laws. So just be really careful out there. And if you want to read the full rule because it impacts you as a participant in the hemp derivative markets, especially the online hemp derivative markets, which are really going to have the kibosh put down on them. The other stuff that they had coming out back in April was not good. And it did say, here's how you could start to try to get compliant. And I bet, do you think 3 Shy is still selling them? I bet 3 Shy is still selling them. Let's go see if we can find them from 3 Shy. I'm not going to mention any names or anything, but Delta-8 or prices, but I just want to see on a binary type of thing. Are they up? Yep. They still are. They're still selling them. And so I don't know what law firm is representing 3 Shy, but, if you wanted to buy a Delta-8 vape cartridge, they say, here you go. You can buy it. You can buy it right there. And then add to the cart. Oh, wait. Oh. Let's see. I'm gonna say Berry White and then a milliliter. Add to the cart. And then I wonder if they're still doing that because their little loophole was we're going to charge $150 million for shipping. Now it's free shipping over $99. So I guess they've kind of walked that back. Yeah, it's one of those things where what if 3 Shy was spending the past 6 months forming their company in the Seychelles or in the Cook Islands and getting all their bank accounts over in the Cook Islands, setting up their payment gateways there, and then they have their supply chain in the United States, and now they're just drop shipping. good luck stopping them. But if you don't have their cash flows, good luck setting that up, right? Anyway, to all of the small mom and pop trying to get started, Delta-8 and other vape cartridge retailers, this is a pretty heavy day, and I'm sorry about it, but you know, what can you do? I'll tell you what, you can hang out with Miggy and I this Wednesday on Cannabis Legalization News, where we'll do a roundup of the news, and then I have some pretty neat new ones that are going to be scripted coming up. I need to have a better supply chain system. Oh, there it is. Top 10 ways to get a cannabis license in 2021 or 2022. That one will be coming up. I'm sure it'll be marked 18 plus as soon as I upload it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell. Otherwise, you're not going to get notice of many of the actual information that we're going to be publishing. So hopefully everybody's got a good Monday that's going on, unless, of course, you're in the Delta-8 business. If you are, then, well, audio track is unavailable. That doesn't make any sense. There he goes.